Welcome to Goldboys Live, presented by Pick It Sports Sleeper Picks Hall of Fame bets. We have a lot to do. Brad Thomas and Josh. We got two Monday night football games tonight. We got a whole lot of football to react to from yesterday. Baseball picks if we have time. Josh, Brad, what's going on, guys? I guess we'll just get right into it. Josh, let's just start. Biggest takeaway from yesterday.
I was telling you guys before the show, and you were talking about it because Tone Stamp is a Bengals fan. To his credit or dismay, whatever you want to say about it, the Ravens, I think, are pretty good. I definitely had them undervalued. I had the Bengals overvalued. I went like 6-2 on the week betting sides. I felt great about it, but the two games that I bet pretty hard, including the Bengals. I'm not ready to just say I'm wrong about them. Tone reminded us all that they went 0-2 last year and still obviously looked pretty good towards the end. Burrow obviously needs to be healthy for that all to be the case. But that defense didn't look like it. Basically looked like if Lamar Jackson just missed a throw or somebody slipped up instead of making it over, like they were going to get a first down pretty much every time on every single set of downs. So I think they really might be that good under Munkin in terms of that offense. And if
Yeah.
Lamar looked pretty accurate, if Nelson Aguilar all of a sudden has hands, like really good catching ability all of a sudden and over the shoulder stuff in the end zone, like then that offense looks pretty nasty, man. And Zay Flowers is going to be the best wide receiver that he's probably ever played with.
Before
I,
Brad jumps in, I just want to say it is newsy that Schefter just tweeted out that Burrow, it's fair to wonder if he'll play next week at the Rams. It's a Monday night game. Bengals laying 3.5, so definitely something to keep an eye on.
there's a lot of takeaways for me. First of all, like, is it time to close the curtain on Justin Fields?
Oh, good one. Very good
Also,
one.
Justin Fields, like I follow a lot of like players who like accounts who break down game film.
It's so bad.
I cannot stop looking at it. Like it is so bad. And also, if anybody like, I didn't tease this just because like I love my Bucks, but the Bears should have been a great teaser leg that would have just blew up by a pick six, and it wasn't even a good like an aggressive throw that caused a pick six. It was just a bad pick six.
That was a hell of a play. And I had Bears plus 3.5 minus 120, and I bought back because I found a Bucks money line minus 137. There was a whole bunch of money on both sides, and down 3 with the ball, but Bears running out of timeouts. I thought if Tampa could get like another first down or two, they wouldn't even give the ball back. I was
Yeah,
sitting right there, but I was so nervous about a pick six. And he's backed up in his own end zone, which, oh man, you get a safety. Bad things can happen when you're on your own goal line like that. The Bears got to play out to like they're 25. I was like, all right, I'm in pretty good shape here. But they called it
yeah.
back with offensive interference. It's like, uh-oh. And then I
You
forget
can
who it
just
was.
feel something. You can
Yeah.
feel something bad was going to
Yeah.
happen. Like it just felt something bad was going to happen.
I felt
And
good about the Bucks in that game, to be honest. I think people were trashing them because they averaged like 3.5 yards a play in the previous week and still beat the Vikes.
It
But
was like
like
2.5, wasn't it? It was
it might have
worse.
been less. But
Yeah.
the Vikes defense and Bears defense kind of comparable, and the Bears is probably worse. And if you can't block and you can't put any pressure on the quarterback, you're not going to be good. Obviously, if your quarterback is not able to see dudes wide open because he has his eyes just zoned in on one dude every single time, you're going to be in trouble. But yeah, I felt decent about the Bucks, honestly.
I have one more takeaway.
yeah, no, Fields is a good one. I mean, look, I don't think he's the quarterback next year. How could he be? You got to pick
No.
somebody else. You're going to have another high pick. You got all that draft
So
capital from Carolina. Like, you just got to cut your losses. And to Brad's point, you watch the film of like just the quarterback's point of view, and you see all the guys that are wide open. He's just standing there holding the ball. Then he just runs into like 3 guys. It's like, what is he looking at? And it's a lesson too of like, hey, college is one thing, NFL is a whole other thing, because Ohio State, these guys are running wide open. You have one read and you just throw it and you can look really good. NFL, man, it's completely different, and it is just, it is bad.
and I want to talk about a guy who's kind of like I think he's comparable and he's already doing well, but he got hurt in halftime. That was Anthony Richardson, because like somebody was making the point that I was talking to about Shane Steichen being his coach and head play caller. Like, what a perfect pairing for Anthony Richardson to be
Yeah,
in that
I like
situation.
Richardson.
And Justin Fields, I don't know if he'd be. I mean, I feel like he could be as successful in that type of situation.
I don't.
But if he can't even move through his progressions, like we didn't really
I
have to.
don't.
Richardson didn't really move through his progressions too much. He didn't have to, right? I mean, Michael Pittman had like 8 receptions for like 55 yards because of the fact that he's got such a low ADOT and all that. But like, if you're in that offense with Steichen helping you get holes and lanes to run through like that as such a fast quarterback, I think he's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, I like Richardson way more than me. I've been impressed with Richardson. I think he's been pretty good. The few rookies that have been good, Richardson, Bijan Robinson. Like you could argue about taking running back. That guy, he's got a little LaDainian Tomlinson in him. He is that good.
Yeah.
And how about what's it, Poku for the Rams, who's just rocketing up the draft or the rookie of the year odds up to like 8-1. I don't know about betting it 8-1, but man, he's just going to keep getting the targets. He looks legit. So interesting.
They're using him a lot. Obviously, he's now he's got the most receptions and yards in his first 2 games of any rookie. Yeah, I mean, and they kept going to him, man. He was getting target after target. So he's a pretty good candidate. It's probably he and Bijan, and if Richardson can stay healthy, obviously,
right.
Yesterday he left after getting slammed into the turf. That was a nasty head.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing with him, because he is like a car crash every play. He's so big and so fast, and he's just slamming into people. My takeaway is I can go one of 2 directions. I will go this: if the Chiefs have a top 5 or top 10 defense, the league might be in some trouble, because that looks like a legit defense. I mean, they gave up only 14 points to the Lions. One of it was 7 was a pick 6. And then yesterday, I mean, that wasn't an offensive win. They shut down Jacksonville. I've always felt like Lawrence is a little overrated.
Yeah,
they kept making stop after stop. If like he doesn't have the weapons he usually has, it's Kelsey and they're stringing it together with not a lot else, and they didn't score a ton of points. Didn't look great on offense in either of the first 2 games, but man, if you're going to give the Chiefs a top 10 offense, and which reminds me, I should look up what they are to win the West, because with the Chargers, who can't get out of their own way, what else is new? And the Chiefs looking good on defense. You figure the Chiefs, all they got to do is get to 9-10 wins. Like the Broncos, forget it. The Raiders, we saw them come back down to earth. What are the Chiefs? Top of our head, what would you guess the Chiefs to win the division?
Last week we were talking about that on the show, and I said I hit them again after they lost, because I was really happy to get them. I think I got them again at -130 to win the division last week. So
nice. Playoffs. I'm seeing -600, -260 to win the West. So
I still, honestly, it's a takeaway from them. And by the way, I'm starting to be, I'm pretty much off the Trevor Lawrence train. Like even the next time he has 2 rushing touchdowns and like 2 passing touchdowns, I'm still not going to care.
He's okay. I just don't buy the idea that he's generational.
Well, he also just missed a lot of open throws yesterday.
Yes,
with my takeaway, and maybe he got rattled, but like, I don't know, man. Like, how good was he how good was the Chiefs defense versus how bad was he at times? Well, regardless, like what I've been happy to hit since then was I took the 49ers again. I think I talked about that last week. I took them at +600. I think they became favorites actually last week. I don't know what they are right now, but before this week's games, they became the favorites after the Chiefs lost, and they smacked the crap out of the Steelers. I still feel really good about that. I think Brock Purdy's going to get better, but I do think people probably have overinflated his value as well. Still think that they're the best bet to come out of the NFC, and then I think we look at them probably versus the Chiefs again. But I'm gonna look. This is the worst wide receiver core that he's ever played with. Pat Mahomes. And
Sky Moore looks better. They keep giving Tony chances. I think it's the good news for them is they suck now. They suck early. Kind of work out these kinks, and I think Travis Kelce being out game 1 actually helped them. Although they lost the game, I mean, like help the receiver core. Like, dude, we got a player only meeting this wide receiver group and get our act together.
You can get a bad team's receiver too. Like Tampa's off to a 2-0 start, and we can talk about these surprising 2-0 teams, but somebody's going to go in the tank where it's like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's not Mike Evans, but like does Arizona trade your receiver? Because somebody can
Marquise Brown.
Yes.
Imagine Marquise Brown he looked good yesterday. Imagine him with Patty Mahomes. That wouldn't be fair.
We have our Eagles fan says Niners aren't getting past Philly. You're delusional.
Wow.
Okay, sure.
Philly done to make you believe in them.
I think when you're a Philly fan, I think that's how you look at it.
That's all you need. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
What was I going to say? The Cardinals. It's
Giants and Cardinals
2-0.
Yes, we went to the same place.
The Cardinals could really be 2-0. And if you look at the schedule, because I have them 22-1 to go winless, it might be a while for a win, because their next games are the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Rams, then the Browns, the Ravens. Man, it might, you might be looking back when they're 0-5, 0-6, be like, man, the Cardinals missed their opportunity. I'm hoping the Cardinals missed their opportunity to win a game. That was crazy. Up 28-7. They blew
oh my God. They had to do that on purpose, right? Like, come on. Like, I was like my Giants friend in the group chat was like panicking. I'm like watching this game, and I'm like, damn, the Giants are gonna get whooped. And then just like one thing after another, and the Giants end up winning. And I was like, the Cardinals had to have not won that game because they looked great all game. But good thing for anybody who believed in the Cardinals. I know Prop Bomb came on Bankroll Blitz and talked about how he liked the Cardinals, how they were playing. He was liking +4. They still covered the number.
Yes. Cardinals 2-0 against the spread.
Yes.
2-0 against the spread, and they could honestly, it's not that far fetched. Like, hey, they should be 2-0 straight up. They had Washington. They were minus 300 on the live line to beat Washington, and then they were obviously up huge yesterday against the Giants. I don't know if we talked enough about the Bengals. I know you could say, hey, they were 0-2 last year. I think they might have been 0-2 a couple years ago too. They always start slow. Last year's last year, this year's this year. Burrow's not healthy. They're already 0-2 in the division. They already have a home loss against the Ravens. I don't think they're going to fire. I think would I be shocked if they like snuck in as a 7 seed? No, but I'd be very concerned if I'm the Bengals right now.
Very concerned. I know Tone's itching to jump in and tell us that they started 0-2.
Yeah, come on, Tone. Let's.
But he's not healthy. And defensively, they look worse than last season, which is my biggest worry. Is if you have a banged up quarterback who's not helping you, you at least want to be able to lean on your defense, and they're not able to lean on their defense.
And it's just this calf is going to linger, and it's like, all right, if you're going to either play him hurt this week or you're going to bench him, and then if you don't play him this week, you could be looking at 0-3. I don't know. I'd be very concerned that this gets back on track. I really would.
Yeah, and I think we don't want to take away from the Ravens either, because
no.
Right. Like, I don't know how good their defense really is. To be honest, I think that is something that you worry about. Is that Burrow, not only was he missing some throws, he was also just like swing pass man. All he was check down, and a lot of it was like schemed out. I think Tone was talking about how awful these routes are, not only for their wide receivers, but a lot of it is just swing pass so that we can just get somebody in space. I guess it's uncreative, and if Burrow can't make the throws that he's used to, we'll see. I mean, even if he gets better, like you said, the defense just doesn't seem to be what it's been. They did lose a few guys in the secondary too. So, Tone, do you have any rebuttals to that?
I mean, you said what I said, in that the route running tree is just not good. I will say,
offensive coordinators here.
Yeah, right. I will say what has been working out for the team is Joe Mixon, and they just have not been giving him all that many touches for what he's been able to do on offense. He's actually been putting him in some pretty good situations, and then they kind of just go away from it and go back to these poor routes.
Marvin is back. Marvin is a regular in this chat. We haven't seen him for a while. He says coming back from deployment, so that's awesome. Congrats. We're happy to have you back. And anyone in the chat, feel free to hit us with questions. Anything else? Takeaways from yesterday? Miami 2-0, 2 nice road wins.
Miami, really nice road win. And I also think I'm going to retire doing same game parlays that aren't alt lines, because everything was perfect, but I missed by 1 reception and 2 yards. And I was like, come on, like the lines are so sharp in the NFL to where if you're going to do a same game parlay, like it's not like a touchdown, you do like actual lines, you have to do alt lines, like, because you're asking to get 3 things correct with how sharp the NFL is. Yeah, in one game.
Yeah.
I was so mad. God, I needed 2 yards from Stevenson, 1 catch from Tyreek Hill. I got the money line right for Miami, and I was just so mad. Question for you about Miami, right? So I disagreed with what who was it, Collinsworth, doing the game last night?
Yes.
I disagreed with what he said. He made a statement that said that Miami's defensive line and run defense looked a lot better week over week. I disagreed, because I just thought the Patriots weren't putting themselves or weren't doing enough downhill running or going off the edge of the line running enough, where like there were so many weak spots on that defense that the Patriots could have attacked. But like, I don't want to say play calling was bad, but I don't think the play calling was that good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my area of expertise to recognize that stuff. I mean, the Patriots, everyone thought they'd be better on offense, and it made sense that they'd be better with O'Brien. There's just not enough juice there. There's just not enough skill guys. They just you don't have enough talent. They're just not a game breaker. They're just a very plodding, methodical offense. It's just hard to win with defense in the NFL now. And unless you're like great on defense, you still need some offense. You still need to be able to get in the 20s. And there's not a lot of offense. And they're in some trouble too, because they played 2 home games in a row, and now you got all your road games in front of you. So,
and their best pass catcher is Devontae Parker. Like,
yeah,
it's like that's not going to do you any favor.
I thought it was going to be Kendrick Bourne, but I mean, anybody who thought Kendrick Bourne was going to consistently be putting up numbers was insane.
There's also Kendrick Bourne was put in a tough spot last night because Mac kept overthrowing him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, dang, holy
Yeah, I don't know
crap.
what to make of Mac Jones. Like, and people were saying before yesterday's game, which I believed, which was like, I'm not believe I'm not I don't think Mac Jones is good. I don't believe that. I don't care what he did in that previous game. Maybe the Eagles defense isn't that good. I don't really know
Yeah,
to make
I
it that
think
they're
that's
getting carved
possible.
up. That could be possible. Transitive property doesn't exist in the NFL, so we don't need to worry about it. Like, oh, they beat this team,
Yeah.
they should be that team. It doesn't work that way. It is definitely a lot of matchups, but there's no way this Miami defense should be better than that Eagles defense. And Mac Jones was definitely just missing guys. A lot of one of them that was like 20 yards over his head, and you're like, that had to slip, man. But
I just want to see Bill O'Brien go to a team that has a bunch of weapons, because
Yeah.
like he keeps taking these jobs that has no weapons and thinks that this kind of play calling that he's going to run is going to be successful. Like it's like you're trying to drive a Ferrari. You're trying to drive Ferrari speeds, but what kind of car you got? You know, you got like a little freaking hoopty.
And I think we were talking off the air that hey, Rams plus 3.5 with the with the Schefter report's a good bet. It's down to -2, -130 for the Bengals.
Yeah.
So the market is sort of skeptical here that Burrow's going to play. That'll be interesting. Who is the backup, and what would that line be if Burrow's out?
Jake Browning is the backup. It probably would go to a pick 'em just because books are a little skeptical of the Rams, but I'd give it to the Rams.
I mean, you're 0-2. You're at home. It's as must win gets. But man, I mean, you can must win all you want if you got Browning at quarterback. Yeah, I mean, whether the Rams are favored by a point, Bengals favored by a point, it's probably not key number, but that'd be interesting. Where man, the market's really telling you he's probably not going to play because those lines are up and you could bet big money on him. And people would, if they thought that Burrow was going to be playing, they'd be laying -130 or -2 with the Bengals. But I'm getting the sense he doesn't play. So that is not good for Cincy. We can move on to the games tonight, but I did just want to say, are the Chargers always going to be the Chargers? I mean,
that's what my takeaway was.
900 times. Like, enough is enough. Like, it's ridiculous at this point.
Well, they've now moved to the Staley has moved to the favorite of being fired.
How he got on the plane after that Jacksonville loss, where they lost 27-0. They were just too cheap to hire Sean Payton, and that's another story altogether with Denver.
Yeah.
That was a wild game, but there's just it's the worst thing is they have so much talent year after year. This isn't just last year, this year. This is like 15, 20 years of this, like the Sean Merriman teams in the Rivers. Like they're always like this. It's always a close game. It's always, comes down to a field goal, and they just always fall short. They're a little like the AFC Vikings. And it's funny, those teams play each other this week, so they'll both somehow figure out a way to lose or they'll tie. But man, the Chargers just total waste.
They'll tie.
Oh my god!
Before we move on, I have one more takeaway too. December 24th, Cardinals Bears is going to be a wild game. I think that decides first pick.
That would be good. That would be good.
Definitely.
Give it to the Cardinals.
Hey, if this Cardinals bet, I will not complain about a bad beat for the rest of my life. If the Cardinals actually go winless, now there's 15 more to go, and they could easily be 2-0. But man, if you look at the schedule, they could get on a little bit of a losing streak here. And look at Chicago, a warm weather team in Chicago that late, that you'd favor Chicago, I guess. But yeah, we're a long ways away. We do have 2 games tonight. Panthers are getting 3 at home against the Saints. So Saints -3 in Carolina, and the Browns -2 in Pittsburgh. I'll leave it open to you guys. Brad, take it any direction you got. I don't love either side in either one of these games, but take it any way you want to go with either one of these games. I guess we'll start with
Saints Panthers. I thought this was too close to call. I don't want to lay the points. And then I can't trust the Panthers after last week. They just didn't look ready. But I did take Michael Thomas over 48.5 receiving yards at -115. He saw 8 targets last week. Had a very good route participation, which was really nice. I thought that he was a good candidate for a touchdown too this week as he goes up. The number obviously is set there because the Panthers should have a good secondary, but I still think that we see a good outing out of Michael Thomas. I just can't get down with playing either side here. I do think an alt line that'd be fun is Bryce Young, 25 plus rushing yards at +400.
I mean, we got the little hook back on the Saints. It was plus -3.5 for the Saints for a while at points during the week. So like -3 is obviously much better as a sort of closing number, but like they do have the best record on the road. I think in the last like 2 or 3 seasons or something, the Saints are in like the top 2 in terms of their road record. Which was really surprising when you think about how bad they were out of the dome when Drew Brees was there, and it was like you guarantee them, like 7 wins at home each season, and then you don't really know what to make of them on the road. That determines things, and there's just so many memories of them losing to the Panthers, and the Panthers have been pretty good against them even the last couple seasons. But I think with the -3, like I'm pretty good to take it. I put them in a money line parlay with the Falcons yesterday, which I had to sweat out profusely. But it gives me back plus 185 for both those money lines parlayed. So I like the juice on that. And I feel good about this leg at being the one to keep me afloat rather than the first one was the one I sweat out for sure.
I'm probably going to end up betting Carolina plus 3.5 minus 120 at Bet Rivers. I don't usually think this way, but I have not heard one person that likes the Panthers. It's all Saints. I just don't know that there's like 4 or 5 points that separates these teams. I know the Panthers. I mean, that was a close game last week against the Falcons. I just don't know. Like I said, like Carolina, you're getting 3. You're at home. That would suggest the Saints are 4.5, 5 points better than the Panthers. I mean, you got to worry about that offense for Carolina. He does not have a lot of weapons. He doesn't have a good offensive line, but and Horn is out, so it's an ugly one. What's up?
Is Chark out?
I'm not sure.
I think he's out.
I know Horn is out, which is a big one in the secondary.
Yeah.
I don't know, Brad. If you had to take it spread 3.5 minus 120, what would you take it or lay it?
I
could see a 20-17 type of game.
I'd probably take the points. Yeah. Divisional home dog. Like even yesterday, they still did all right.
We should have mentioned this too. Overs were what 12-1 yesterday.
12-1, yes.
Because the Patriots stayed under, right? So it had to be 12.
Oh yeah, 12-2. I forgot about that game.
Is that anything, something, nothing? Is that something where the books are going to inflate the totals this week and we bet unders? Do you guys have any takeaway on that 12-1? That's a stat.
I do think the books change they inflate the numbers. Yeah. Or what they do is they set the numbers and then they like change their whatever it's called. Like how much one side can go before the line moves, how much money they take on it. I think it'll be less money on it will move the line more. That's generally how books can get kind of get that buyback, like, all right, we're just gonna have less leverage on one side.
Any reason you guys think for the overs or just kind of randomness?
I think a lot of
go ahead, Red.
I think a lot of the weather, what was weather? It was supposed to rain in 3 of the games, and I didn't see a single drop of rain.
Yeah.
That could be a big part of it. I mean, the Cowboys and Jets game was one I was looking at, obviously not affected by weather, but it was what 40 points, right? It closed at I think like 39 and a half. So there was some stuff that was close. Like the Jets are bad. That was a game we probably should have quickly recapped, which is like they're not going anywhere with Zach Wilson. So they're either saying that they're wasting a year of all that talent or they need another quarterback.
We've been over it though. What are the options? Like, what are the options? Like people like, I'll get Carson Wentz off the street like that. I mean, that's not the answer. There's really no great answer.
Trade anybody, literally anybody.
That's not an answer though. Who?
Yeah, like
if anybody's available. If Jacoby Brissett is available, go get
these teams aren't going to just give you their backup quarterback.
No,
the problem is you can't just.
Yeah, you have to lose something. Like either you throw away this year and you keep whatever assets you don't want to let go of, or you subscribe yourself to the fact that next year you're not going to have a first round.
But Washington's 2-0. I'm not going to just give you if I have an unproven at quarterback. Now I'm going to have no backup. Like I just don't think these teams.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
I don't think
backup. I don't think anyone's going to give them anything. I think they're screwed. I think they're just stuck with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and that's the option.
And I was cautious yesterday. I didn't bet the -8. I was cautious. What I wanted to do was see how the game was going. And then when -10s opened up, I hammered the hell out of them. I was just sitting there, boom, boom. I was betting them so much that at one point it got to 11, and then it's changed in my slip to 12, and I'm still just clicking to mid-bet. Like, he couldn't handle the pressure. Like, I know they scored, but, like,
no,
man.
Pretty easy.
Yards per play were pretty comparable too. So I mean, I know there were some penalties that went against the Jets, and Gardner dropped a pick that looked like he could have gone the other way. So I mean, that's a tough spot in Dallas. That was a tough spot anyway because they played Monday night late, and then you're on the road short week. Like that was a really tough travel spot and rest spot. So I mean, you'll give them another couple weeks just for no other reason. Like we said, that I don't know who you're getting. It's not just you can't just snap your fingers and get a quarterback. I mean, Somebody says, hey, you can get Cousins. Maybe. I don't know if the Vikings are ready to do that yet. Maybe you can get Tannehill soon. But again, it's week 2. These teams aren't just saying, hey, take my quarterback, take my backup. It's not as easy as just, hey, here, here's the thing. Rodgers, the reason that dragged on so long all summer is because Rodgers was kind of the answer. That was it. Now I don't know that there's a good backup plan.
No, I mean, but the thing with Rodgers is we put their ceiling at like Super Bowl.
Right.
And
there's nobody that can do that.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
Yeah.
I totally get that. So, I mean, but I think if you really want to figure it out and just lose what you have, like if you're willing to, if I'm a team with a backup quarterback, even if I am the Commanders and I'm like, where am I going in this division? Who am I challenging? Am I really challenging the teams at the top of this division? Then I'm whatever. Like Jacoby Brissett, if Sam Howell does get hurt, and then like what I'm going to salvage my season with Jacoby Brissett, how it doesn't matter.
But they're 2-0. They want to make the playoffs. They haven't made the playoffs and what like that. That coaching staff is fighting for its job.
If someone offers you a first or second round pick for a guy who's not playing on your team,
you're
he's
gonna
not
give up
seeing
a
the
first
field.
rounder for Jacoby Brissett, though. I mean, I don't know. Like you're not winning the Super Bowl with Jacoby Brissett, so like you're not.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're raising the. There's no really great options. Maybe a month from now, somebody's season falls apart, or like if you said right now, hey, here's a couple first rounders for Stafford, would the Rams do that? But again, you're that's a lot to give up for Stafford. I don't know that there's
They challenged yesterday. I don't think McVay's done. Like if McVay plans on sticking around, like he's not letting go of his quarterback. Otherwise, he's up.
Yeah, but they have
Stetson Bennett's off the team too. Now that was huge.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
That sucks, man.
Brown Steelers. You guys like anything? Yeah, go for
Brown
it.
Steelers. I have some plays in it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I told this play I think already last week, but I do have Nick Chubb at a touchdown plus 120. Let's see what it is real quick. If it's still, I'm sure it's still plus money.
The line got abused a little bit when I looked.
Did it?
What'd you get it at?
Anytime for him. Yeah, he's
remember use Pickett Sports to shop your lines.
Yeah,
Pickett Sports
minus 120 on DK now for Chubb.
That's why I took him. I took him out of my plays. I have some plays for this game that I really like. I was just like kind of like nerding out yesterday, and so I took one alt play for half a unit. Nick Chubb 70 plus rush yards and George Pickens 25 plus receiving yards for minus 101. I'll explain the Chubb angle in a second, but Pickens slots in to be the number one receiver with number one target guy. He should be with Deontay Johnson out there. So I like that a lot. And then Nick Chubb over 83.5 rushing yards. This was actually pretty cool. I'm going to have a video, so I'm not going to explain it too much in depth, but basically like the way to beat the Steelers. Steelers run the most one linebacker sets in NFL and their 4-2-5 defense. Basically, you want to overload one side, and the best way to overload one side is you run outside zone. The Browns run the most outside zone this is last season. They ran the most outside zone out of any run scheme that they ran last season, one of the highest in the NFL, which also leads me to my other play. I don't know if you want to put this on the screen. I think it was pretty cool. I don't know if Tone has the graphic on the screen, but so basically this is what overload looks like. When you can put your Y there, you can put a tight end there, you can put your S wide receiver. On the outside, they chip this guy right here. I don't know if it's on screen, so I don't know if that's making
nobody can see anything though.
Okay.
No, I can't see it.
Okay, cool. So basically what's happening is the S or the tight end or the Y, it doesn't matter what you put there. They're going to chip the end, which leaves that flat open. If the X comes up and blocks the corner, which leaves that play open. This helps a guy like Deshaun Watson, this play type, this play design, because he's been struggling with pass depth, deep passes. If Amari Cooper's out, that's another weapon that he has taken away from him to go deep. So at plus 155, Nick Chubb to get at least 3 catches is my favorite value play on the board. 4 catches on 4 targets last week. He ran 5 routes, giving him a 18% route participation last week. So that's like one of my favorite plays. I only went half a unit just because I don't want to think I don't want to be overthinking it, but it's something that I can't pass on at plus 155.
And everyone in the chat can see it. I missed the film lesson, so I feel ripped off. I don't know if Josh, could you see it or no?
No.
What bullshit. Well,
no, but I saw the graphics earlier.
Well, X's and
before we wrap, should we just do first touchdown score each game just quickly if you guys want?
Yeah, I'm down to do that.
That's a market people love, the instant gratification. Jamal Williams is the short shot 6-1, Miles Sanders plus 850, Olave 9-1, Michael Thomas 10-1, Hubbard 12-1, Thielen 13-1. Man, there's a lot of guys under 20-1. They have really shot this market. Bryce Young 19-1, Mingo 17-1, Hill 16-1. I'm not sitting here read every guy. Is there anyone that jumps out? Anyone you guys had in mind here? These prices are not that enticing to me, at least.
I wanted to see the price, but I like Michael Thomas to score the first touchdown at 10-1. I don't.
He was getting targeted early last week.
I need more than 10-1 though. I mean,
I know. What about Derek Carr,
but the prices are all bad. Like it's like
all
collectively bad.
It used to be you get these quarterbacks who don't run it like 50-1, and even like Mahomes, you get it 30-1.
Yeah.
I think because like it's become just more of a prevalent market, they don't want to pay out and they just short pay like these odds where it's just, man, like there's so many guys.
May I interest you in Giovanni Ricci 150-1?
Ian Thomas.
Giovanni Ricci around. Who is that?
I don't know.
Lynn Bowden.
He's got to be like a fullback or something. How do I not know who this is?
Who is Ricci?
He's got to be a third tight end. I have no idea who he is. I just got the longest odds.
He's a fullback. I knew it. Yeah.
Even no touchdown, 50-1.
Yeah. He's a fullback. Wow.
No touchdown.
Could you imagine if he scores?
Defense or special teams for the Saints is 35. Defense or special teams for Carolina is 40. I mean, with that offensive line, because you see a strip sack, I mean, yes, but again, 35-1. I don't know. What's one? You guys said Michael Thomas. Anything else?
Yeah, I was looking at Thomas or like Olave, honestly.
You could see a Terrence Marshall. I feel like Terrence Marshall has to be a good price.
I was going to say
price?
Still 20-1.
Marshall is
plus 2,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah, 20-1.
God, that's not.
I was going to say either Olave or Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, but Bryce Young's price sucks too, right? That's just 20-1.
19-1.
Yeah.
Jeez.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, he runs, right? He's a mobile. He's got to be able to run. He's the size of a peanut, but I don't know. Let's do the Browns. Browns Steelers here. Both low totals, by the way. Both.
This was a scary game. This is so. I was like the games that I really liked last week were based on like finding value because people were over or under inflating. Like I did pretty well on those. The only ones I missed, like I said, I went 6-2, and the two I missed were Pats and Bengals, who I misjudged. And I didn't feel great about the Pats. I did feel really good about the Bengals, and I felt this way about the Steelers. But like I don't know, +2. It's not like they're really being undervalued, right? Like it seems like this is probably appropriate, especially after what we just saw with the Bengals and what that does to sort of the impressiveness of the Browns beating them the week before, right? It's like I don't know how impressive that is. So I don't know. This seems pretty fairly priced. In which case, I'm just like, all right, well, I'm not getting that much value on the Steelers. I get less than 3 on the Browns, so I'll just keep riding with the team that looks good in the trenches.
I love the Steelers on a teaser. I mean, it was a good teaser week. I'm starting to think more and more the best way to beat the NFL is just teasers. So many of these games are so close. Some of these dogs that are 2.5, you just get them up to 8.5, and you know what? Who cares who wins? You just stay within one score and you win. Let's see. Brown Steelers. Chubb +450. No, thank you. Najee Harris +650. Pickens 10-1. People Jones 11-1. Freiermuth 12-1. Robinson 12-1. Elijah Moore 12-1. Njoku 12-1, Jalen Warren 13-1, Calvin Austin 15-1. How many guys under 15-1 can you have?
Jalen Warren 13-1. Like that's such a good target if he's above 20, 25. What like 30-1 feels right for the backup running back of the team that's not favored. Like
Watson 18-1, Pickett 20-1, and then I don't know anything else you guys are interested. The defenses are 30-1 and 35-1. Anything jump out there? These prices stink. I think
these prices are awful. Like I was thinking I was thinking maybe we get like a Cedric Tillman like 40-1 if doesn't go. He's active today. If Cooper doesn't go, but like 30-1 like for
35-1 on DraftKings.
I would play that actually. I would play that. He's already been announced that he's active.
Where is he on the depth chart, you think?
Oh man. Probably pretty low. But he's going to be a package guy, I think, where he's only going to be in special packages.
Yeah. I feel like there was a run in prime time. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I was starting to get all these years run together where it was like a bunch of third string tight ends scored the first touchdown in prime time games. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I feel like everyone was like cashing these first touchdown third string tight end guys. And I'm like, dog, I'm sorry.
It's like a Titans Bills game where like a third string tight end caught one and there was a run of them where a bunch of them just random guys.
I think it was Blake Bell. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we bounce?
Let me get my sleeper play.
Yeah.
I alluded to this already. I did it on Sleeper. I wouldn't recommend doing this on Prize Picks or any of the other ones. Michael Thomas over 50.5 receiving yards. I know someone asked if they like Michael Thomas. Horn's going to be out He's questionable, I think. I didn't see if he was officially out, but I'd imagine he's going to be out. He didn't practice all week, so that helps Michael Thomas, who's going to be the number 2 option. Olave receptions is okay. I know someone asked about that. I don't really love it, but the other part of my leg is Nick Chubb over 2.5 receptions. It pays 4.12x your money.
All right.
I got baseball. I got baseball. Just say.
Oh, go. Yeah,
I have baseball too.
I put 2 units on Zach Wheeler over 17.5 outs against the Bravos. And then are
the Braves sitting everyone? Because I see they're rolling out some
not official yet, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of that. And the Phillies do need to win. And then what's that?
Braves just got swept by the Marlins, who played really well.
And Acuna.
That's why I think the Braves. That's why I think the Braves are like gonna toss this game so they can get like that mental regroup.
Acuna is sitting for just like rest and health.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that one you can bank on. And then Wheeler, I did get him on Bet Rivers is where I got him. That was -128. I don't know. I didn't look at the other couple books, but I took Waino under 3.5 Ks -148 on FanDuel. I took Milwaukee run line because they have Peralta on the mound, and it was +104 with the run line versus Wainwright. So I was like, great, give me a unit on that.
All right. Yeah, it's is that confirmed? Acuna sitting?
That was what was talked about earlier. I don't know if it's confirmed. I don't think their lineup's been official yet, but that was what I was getting ahead of. Was like even if just he sits, that makes me feel a lot better about Wheeler over 17.5 outs.
I have one play. Joe Ryan 5+ strikeouts. Twins versus Reds. Parlayed with Brian Wu 5+ strikeouts. Mariners Athletics. I think you can honestly play Ryan with Wu in his regular line at +6. If you don't want to play the -145, that brings it into plus money. I'm just playing it safe because I just want to get to the window on a Monday,
Yeah.
All right. Cool. On that note, we will wrap. Good show. Good night tonight. We got 2 Monday night games at once. Yep. I don't know why they do it, but I still enjoy it. So we got 2 games tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys were lively today. It helps us out when you guys are active in the chat. Thank you to Pickett, Sleeper, Hall of Fame Bets, Josh and Brad. See you guys tomorrow.